I really do feel like as human beings, we all reach a point in our lives one day where we finally decide that we have to take accountability for the decisions that we end up making. Because believe it or not, where you're at right now is a reflection of each and every last decision that you made in the past. And if you aren't where you want to be, then now is the time to finally start holding yourself accountable and make the adjustments so that you can be in a position where you want to be in the near future. Because even with myself, I don't necessarily make irrational decisions based on my overall self development as an individual, but I will fall victim to a lot of the bad habits that I may have had in my past. And then I had to be honest with myself. I had to be real and really come to terms with the fact that if I continue to move the way that I was moving, then I was never going to be able to fully grow and expand. So that really prompted me to get on here and make this video for y'all today. Really just wanting to share awareness on the fact that we have to start holding ourselves accountable. If you are not where you want to be, that is completely on you. It's 2024 where we have so many different resources and everything available to us. So this version of success that we all are chasing is very much so possible because we've seen it time and time again where so many different people have beat the odds. So many different people have opened these doors for not only themselves but their family and their friends and really just changed the course of everyone's life around them. So why not us? So why can't it be you? And my thing is, I don't think that it can't be you. I just think that you may not have gotten to that point yet where you want it as bad. And this really just reminds me of this quote that Eric Thomas said, and he says that once you want to be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. Once you want greatness for your life as bad as you really want to breathe, just think about how crazy that sounds. But once you get to that point where you're so desperate and you're so hungry and you're so deeply desired for this form of success, as bad as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. When you're constantly waking up, striving to be great, and you know that you're not going to give up because failure itself is just what's going to transition you into this form of greatness, then you will reach that form of greatness that you're seeking. But before any of that, we have to start holding ourselves accountable. We have to start being more strict and less lenient on the mistakes that we're making, especially if they're happening repeatedly. The seeds that you plant in your life, they will blossom. And what you're allowing yourself to get away with on a daily basis, whether you realize it or not, no matter if you think it's insignificant or it may be small, these will all grow into bigger forms that you're going to realize later in life. Like, man, I didn't even think it can get this far. Just think about a child. When a child is being raised and they do one thing that, the parent may not approve of, if the parent doesn't correct that child, that one initial problem or that one initial bad behavior eventually fosters into more because you didn't stop it when the seed was first being planted. We need to stop planting seeds that we don't want to represent us in the long run. If you want to stand for something great, we got to start planting healthier seeds for ourselves. And taking accountability is one of the first steps in order to make that change, because no person on this planet has experienced this form of growth without the realization of acceptance and holding themselves accountable. Anybody that has an actual past, actual traumas and hardships that they may have went through, in order to overcome those, I guarantee that they had to look themselves in the mirror and decide and make a conscious decision that things were going to change. Change is not accidental. Change just does not happen if you do not put in some type of effort or energy in order to make those things happen. If you want different results in your life, you have to start moving differently, and it's really that simple. So this act of taking accountability puts you in a headspace to really be able to transform your life and really look at things from a different perspective. None of us are kids anymore. None of us should be moving around acting as if we have time, because in reality, we don't know when we're gonna go. So this feeling of just moving as if you have so much time is really just a form of you being comfortable. And we don't want to ever take life for granted. We don't want to ever get to that point in our lives where we're just kind of coasting through, making mistakes, saying, oh, we have the time. We have the time, man. We can make another mistake. We done did it time and time again, and we've seen the results. We're still here right now. So let me take advantage of everything that I've been doing thus far. I feel like it's very important that we start treating life like this very precious gift that it actually is. I know we all have family members that are no longer here with us today, and just that impact alone of you loving and you caring for somebody so deeply, for them to not be present with you is way more than enough for you to really decide to cherish your life and to value the time that you have here, to work with whatever you have, to forgive those who may have wronged you, and really just use that as motivation to be great. But if I never learned to adapt this form of accountability into my life, I would have missed out on so many opportunities. Because when you represent somebody who can make a mistake and still stand tall, even after the fact, whether it went wrong or right, that shows a whole lot about your character. I don't know about y'all, but that's somebody that I would want to be around, somebody that wears their L's and their losses proud and doesn't shy away from the mistakes that they made. You got to remember that you're human, so you're going to make mistakes no matter what. But accountability is on a whole nother level. Getting yourself out of that victim mindset, removing yourself from this version of you that constantly played the blame game, and really just taking responsibility for your life, because at the end of the day, it is your life. And whether you realize it right now or 10 years from now, you are responsible for where you end up. Not your parents, even if they may have, had a major impact on your life, they are not responsible for where you end up. Because once you become an adult and you go out here into the real world, it is up to you to get to and be where you want to be. When somebody asks you what you do for a living and you don't want to say what you actually do because you're ashamed, they're not going to think like, oh, I feel sorry for him or I feel sorry for her because they were raised in this type of household. No. A lot of people have that trauma. A lot of people experience that form of pain and that hurt that comes with, being raised in certain households. But that doesn't mean that that's a reason for you not to be great. That's actually more of a reason for you to be great if you've been put in those positions, because you should use it as motivation at this point. So one thing that really helped me learn how to take full accountability for my life was really just starting with the small things. Telling myself that each and everything that happens in my life is due to a decision that I made, whether I realize it or not. If you are not where you want to end up, blame yourself. Because when you blame yourself and you look yourself in the mirror, it's much easier for you to take that form of accountability and push forward rather than blaming somebody else. You will always hold that tension and that bitterness if somebody else had that impact on you. But when it's you, you have no choice but to eventually move on and grow and expand from it. Don't let somebody else be responsible for your overall successes, where I'm pretty much getting at with this. It is not worth it. Do not give people that much power and control over your life to where you have to blame somebody. I'll never forget when I was in high school, when I first started playing basketball, pretty much, man. And my mom, she didn't show up to any of my games. And for like the first few games, I used to always blame her for why I didn't perform the way that I performed. But at some point during that journey, a light flipped up and I realized that, it's not necessarily, it doesn't have necessarily anything to do with my mom not showing up. My mom's working to provide for all of her kids. She has other things that are more important, priorities that need to be taken care of. That's when I had to hold myself accountable. And that's when I realized that it doesn't have anything to do with her not showing up. It has everything to do with how much power I'm giving the overall situation and how I'm allowing it to control me. That's when I really started to grind. That's when I really started to put in the work, because I stopped making it somebody else's responsibility for me to succeed. It's not on her. It's on me. What work am I putting in? I should be going even harder because I knew that she was going hard to provide and take care of her kids and her family. So why would I not go just as hard? If you gotten to the point in your life right now where you're stuck, or you're blaming it on your parents because of the way that you were raised or anything like that, it's on you. And I know it's a tough thing to hear. I know it's a very tough thing to listen to, but I really want everybody to grow and be great. And right now you need to understand that it is not on anybody but you. You are where you're at because of the decisions that you've been making. But the beauty in life is that you can change. And that's one thing that I'll always love about the growth journey, is the fact that you have the ability to change. You don't have to be like this. You don't have to blame people. Even if it was their fault, make it your problem, make it your fault, because this is your life in reality. And nobody else is going to be able to walk in your shoes and live with that guilt of not getting to where you should be at. Because many of us have potential to be great. Many of us have the wisdom and the knowledge needed to be great. But the hardest part is actually putting things into effect, doing the work. It's people on the internet that tell us each and every day the keys to getting rich, the keys to success. And the problem is people just do not want to do the work. Everybody just wants to be rewarded for success when they don't deserve it. So I'm here to tell you today that you must earn that form of success that you want. It's very much so possible. It's very much so realistic. But when you truly desire success and you really want it, you will look yourself in the mirror and hold yourself accountable. And it won't be about anybody else but you and the decisions that you're making on a daily basis. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue J Tay. Do me a huge favor and drop a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I love y'all, man. Stay locked in and keep going and keep pushing forward. Right now is the time to really dig deep and to get to where you want to be, because this is your life and it's on you. But keep going, man. Y'all strive and be great. I love y'all once again, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.